So at this point, you should have your doors and windows. And if I were you, I would go ahead and save a different file. So we can do save as. And then I've just been naming them floor plan 1 point, well, like I had floor plan 1 and then I did 1.2, 1.3, and I might name it 1.4. And it's just good to save your floor plan in different steps. So if we ever need to refer back, we have another one to refer back to. So I'm just going to click save here. And now you can see that I'm going to be working on my floor plan 1.4. If you go to the home page, then you have your different files. So make sure you save another floor plan just in case. Now what we're going to start with is the floor or foundation. Obviously there's a lot more to foundation, but we're just going to use it like making a slab type thing. So our walls have something to sit on. So I'm just going to grab this rectangle tool. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, rectangle, and start at one corner. I orbited to the bottom just to view the bottom. Click the rectangle tool, start at one corner of the home, and take it all the way out to the opposite corner. And it will make this surface. So let's grab our selection tool and select it. So it kind of made that one big surface. I'm going to double click it. That will select all the four sides. So I'm going to right click and make it a group. Once it's a group, I can double click inside of it to edit it. I'm going to push and pull it. And let's just do 2 feet. 2 feet, enter. And then we could rotate up, get the selection tool, and exit out of it. So now our walls are sitting on, a foundation. We can select this foundation again because we want to have it in its own tag. Let's create a new one and let's just rename this foundation. And you could right click entity info and we can make sure that this thing that's selected, the foundation, is under the foundation tag, and you can use a little eyeball to check if it's correct. Okay. Now what we want to do is we are going to start adding things that are built into the house, so kind of like countertops and anything that has to do with plumbing. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the countertops. Let's see. Okay, so we know that a countertop is 36 inches tall and it's 24 inches deep. So we're just going to go ahead and start with a line. We're going to go 24 inches deep from this point out here. Make sure you're on that red axis, 24 inches. And you're going to go all the way along to the other end, that end, and that end. So we're just making a long rectangle. And then I'm going to double click it to make sure it selects all four sides. Right click and make it a group. So now I could double click into this group. I'm going to push and pull this. I'm going to go up 36 inches. Okay. Now what I want to do is grab this pencil. And now we're going to do like this depth over here. So we're going to go along this way on the green axis, 24 inches. And find that endpoint and bring it all the way down on the blue axis to the bottom of the cabinets. That's what we're making the cabinets. I'm going to grab the push and pull tool and I'm going to come out to this window. So remember, it was actually supposed to go all the way out, but because of the window that I didn't catch, that's the example why we had to put the window up, because the window can't go, like, the cabinet can't cover the window. So we're just going to go ahead and stop there, or I want it to stop at this point right here. So push and pull it back up until this point. And then I'm going to click, kind of find that line, bring it down. I want to come out on the green axis 24 inches or 2 feet. Same thing. Bring it all the way out on the red axis to this point, all the way back, and completing it. So once you see that surface, I'm going to bring it up to 36 inches, or you could just line it up with the other end. And now we have your countertops. So we can see that our countertops are still in one group if I grab the selection tool and click out. If I click it, you can see that it's still in that one group. So we're going to go ahead and make a tag for our base cabinets now for our kitchen. Okay, so I was going to move the cabinets to their own layer or tag. So I'm going to click the plus button and do kitchen cabinets and click tab and select them. It shows that they're untagged. I'm going to move it to the kitchen cabinet. Click the eyeball, and that's correct. I do know that there's a fridge that goes here. So what I want to do is I'm going to select the group and I'm going to grab the move tool and I'm just going to select it and I'm going to go up on the blue axis and kind of just move it up so I could have room to get on this side where the fridge will go. Orbit myself correctly. I'm going to double click into the group, select this face, grab the push and pull tool, and I'm going to push it in this direction 3 feet because my fridge is going to be 3 feet. So once that's done and I moved it 3 feet, I could select out of the group. Now just select the group, grab it from, let me rotate myself real quick. Here we go. Grab it from this corner back here. I'm going to take it down on the blue axis and snap it back into this corner where it hits the wall. And now we can see that I have room for the fridge. And this room should be 3 feet. I'm going to measure it just to be sure. And 3 feet. That's enough for a fridge. Okay. So we did our countertops. Now we're going to move to plumbing. And the plumbing would include the fridge, because sometimes the fridge has an ice maker. So we're going to add the fridge and plumbing and appliances. The fridge, we're going to add the sink where it belongs. We're going to add the toilet, the tub, and the pedestal sink in the bathroom. So let's just finish up the kitchen and let's start with the fridge. So we know that our fridge is, the dimension of a fridge is 36 inches by 29 inches of depth and 66 inches high. Now there's a couple of options for our fridge dimension, and I'm getting these dimensions from our architecture notebook. but I'm just going to go with the 36-inch fridge, which is the 3-foot fridge. So like I did the cabinets, I'm just kind of going to make a surface first. So I know the depth from this corner is 36 inches, 3 feet. So I'm going to click from here, click, but the width was 36, but the depth was 29 inches. So I'm going to type 29 inches, enter, and bring it all the way over and all the way back to close it. And it made our surface. So now I'm going to double click our surface, right click, group, and now I could double click into the group, get the push and pull tool, bring it up, and according to the architecture notebook, it says that our height for the fridge is 66 inches. And I could click out, and our fridge should be its own little group. There it is. There's our fridge. Now we're going to be drawing our sink, and our sink does go inside our cabinets. So I'm going to show you how to place your sink in a cabinet. The sink on the floor plan, I would have to get my floor plan out. Let me measure that real quick. So the sink on the floor plan is about 36 inches wide and 20 inches deep. And the way I got that dimension, or assumed that it was kind of that dimension, was by looking at the floor plan. The floor plan, it looked like it was almost as wide as the fridge itself. And then on our architecture notebook, there's a double compartment sink, which is two, because it has that divider in the middle, so it's 2 compartments. And on the architecture notebook, it says that there's one sink that's a double compartment that's 36 inches in width and 20 inches in depth. So I'm gonna double click back into the cabinet, the base cabinets, and I'm gonna go ahead and draw the sink in this area because that's where it shows in the plan. So I'm gonna grab the pencil tool, and I do want a little bit of space here. So I'm gonna give me about 6 inches of space. And then this is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to just kind of bring that line over. So from here, if we have 20 inches, we're going to want to give about an inch this way. So I'm going to go start right here, click 1 inch up, and I'm going to start 1 inch from the edge, and I'm going to go in this direction along the green axis. And I'm going to go 36 inches in width. I'm going to take it back along the red axis, go back along the red axis, and I'm going to go 20 inches in depth. I'm going to go over here, find the point where it meets, click, and go all the way down. I'm going to grab the selection tool and delete these additional lines that we don't need anymore. I'm going to highlight now the kitchen, or the surface. I'm going to grab the push and pull tool. I'm going to take it down about 10 inches. Okay, so I pushed it down about 10 inches, and now we can find the center of this. Take it down along the blue axis. We'll give it, again, half an inch on one side. You're going to have to delete the top because it'll make a surface for some reason. Select it, delete it, and then find that end point and bring it down. And then again, half an inch on the other side. delete that surface. Click and bring it down on that blue axis. We can delete this center line and we can bring out this over here. And then let's go ahead and delete this little line. And there we have our double compartment sink. Okay, now we can click out of it. Okay, next we need our toilet, our tub, and our pedestal sink. So, a pedestal sink goes right here, a toilet goes right here, and a tub goes right here. So, I'm definitely gonna just go look for a toilet. We're not gonna make those. I'm gonna go look for it in the warehouse. I'm gonna click this little warehouse button right over here, off to the right. And I accept the terms above, and I'm gonna search toilet. Toilet. Any of these toilets are fine. Gives us a bunch of options. Just make sure you pick one. I'm going to click this toilet too, and I'm going to download it with this little download button with the arrow. Click it, and it's going to download into my model. I'm just going to place it so I clicked it. And obviously this back part needs to be touching this wall over here. So with my rotate tool, or the rotate tool, this one right here, select it, and it needs to be highlighted blue. Click. I'm going to make sure I'm on the red axis. Click and rotate to the other side of the red axis and click. And now I can move this toilet with my move tool in the general location. And right now I'm going to move it to the general location. I'll fix the actual location later, but general location, and that's it. Now you should have your toilet. Let's go look for the pedestal sink next. So I'm going to click the warehouse icon on the right hand corner and put pedestal sink. Go ahead and pick any pedestal sink that you like. I like this one. So I'm just going to click the little download button. And I'm going to place it in my model. Now I can rotate. Okay. So it went through the floor. If that happens, just grab your move tool, select, you see the little red crosses? That means I'm selecting it on this side. So I would click, and I'm going to bring all the way up along that blue axis, because remember, going up into the sky until I see, oops. If it keeps on moving, you see how it could kind of get off the blue axis? Just click shift on your keyboard. It'll highlight it and it won't move off the axis no matter where you move your mouse. So make sure it's on the surface right here. Oops. Click, and now I can rotate it. I'm going to orbit myself correctly real quick. Grab my rotation tool, make sure it's blue. Click right here on the red axis and rotate. Actually, we're going to rotate to the green part. So you see how that line's highlighted green? Click. And I'm going to move it with my move tool to the location it needs to be at. And you see how that back line, obviously it's highlighted with the blue bounding box, but that little bottom part, that bottom edge of the blue box, I'm just going to make sure it lines up with that back wall line, and then I'm going to click. So this is what I was talking about. This line right here, you could see how it's like intersecting with that black line, which means it should be perfectly along the wall. See, you can see how well it lines up against that wall as the pedestal sink should be. Okay, now what we need is the tub. So let's go see what the 3D warehouse has. We definitely don't need those types of tubs. Let's go ahead and type tub 60 inch. We'll see what comes up with that. Nope. Maybe just tub 60. No? Okay. Stick with tub. Maybe tub 32. Okay, back to tub. I guess we can just use this one. So we are going to be downloading a 32 by 60 inch tub. This is the one I can find right now. We're doing the 32 by 60. That's going to be the average dimension of a tub, and the average dimension of a tub is actually shown in our architecture notebook. So that's what you should have drawn on your floor plan as well. Just go ahead and download it. Bless you. And then I'm just going to drop it right now. We could see that obviously the drain is over here, so the drain needs to be right here. So I'm just going to grab it from this corner and kind of snap it into that corner right there. So it lines up perfectly with the wall. And there we go. Okay, so now we need fixtures. So obviously there's a sink, but there's no faucet, and obviously there's a tub, but there's no shower head. So we still need to go get those things. So I'm going to type bathroom faucet. And you can go ahead and pick whichever one you like. I am going to click I don't like any of them. I'm just going to click this one. I'm going to download it. I'm going to place it on the sink for now. Rotate myself. And now I could place it perfectly along the back over here. So I'm going to rotate, obviously, this faucet. I'm going to make sure this is on the blue, like highlighted blue. And it's kind of hard to highlight it blue over here. So I'm just going to place it on the floor on the red axis and rotate to the opposite side of the red axis. And it just rotated in that direction, even though I didn't click it up here. It still stayed up there. Grab the move tool and move it. Okay, that doesn't look center, so I'm just going to grab the move tool Place it in that center area, and there we go. Now we have a sink. If you'd like, I think you should do this, because if this has to move for any reason, you select the faucet, shift, select the sink, and right click, and you can group it. So now this is just one thing, and if it moves, if you have to move it, the whole thing moves with the pedestal sink, instead of you having to move the sink and then the faucet as well. Now we need to look for a shower head and a spout for this tub. So 3D warehouse, and I'm just going to search shower head. Actually, I'm going to search tub spout first, or maybe faucet. Okay, I'm going to try faucet. Let's see what comes up. Okay, looks like either or works, but you need to make sure you have this little spout faucet for moving it into the tub, for like draining out the water and turning on the water and stuff, and then you also need to make sure you have your shower head. So choose what you want, but you do need both. See, sometimes it comes with all of them in one, but those are ugly, so I'm not going to choose it. Here we go. I'm just going to do this one. Download it, and here we go. So obviously the heights, are not correct. Escape. Obviously the heights are not correct. So I'm going to double click, or actually I'm going to center it first, and then I'll double click into the group that it's in, and then adjust the heights. So I know I want the shower head at least 6 feet, because there's definitely people out there who are easily 6 feet. So I'm just going to grab a line, draw a line up to 6 feet, enter, and then kind of draw it all the way across. And I could delete these later. Okay, look how they're in multiple things. So I'm going to select that one, hold down shift, select it, and I'm going to make sure that moves up as well. And I'm just going to put it slightly over 6 feet right here. And then delete this line because I don't need it. That was just a guide. And then I'm going to move this spout slightly downwards. Because you don't want the water falling and then it from such a big height and then the water splashing out. So it's about 2 to 3 inches from the actual tub. And then this one you'd probably want at like counter height, so about 36 inches from the ground. So I'm gonna do that guideline again, 36 inches. And that's actually fine. I'll just go ahead and leave it like that. No, shouldn't be 36 inches. It needs to be taller than 36 inches. About 4 feet. 4 feet. And then kind of just move this up right there. happened to my faucet? Back. I don't know where it went. There it is. Okay, I don't know what happened to it, but I'm gonna do it again. Okay, and there we have our plumbing for our tub and for our sink. This is bothering me how it's a really ugly yellow color, so I'm just going to change it. Highlight it all, make sure it's all selected, all the surfaces. Go to the paint bucket and just click this white color, and there we go. Okay, and again, if you would like to select this, hold down Shift, select the tub, right click and make a group. It'll make it one big group, so if it ever needs to move, they all move together. Lastly, we need to find a faucet for the kitchen. So go to the warehouse, we're going to type kitchen faucet. And go ahead and pick one. I'll just choose this one. I'll just place it right here, and then I'm going to rotate it. Oops. The rotate tool. Make sure you're on that red axis, and then rotate to the green axis. There we go. We're going to move it and place it right here in the center. And there's our faucet for our sink. Obviously, yes, we could have picked a sink for our cabinets, and we obviously could have picked a fridge for our kitchen. But the more items you add in your model, then the slower your model starts to go. So for the purpose of just learning right now, we're just going to keep it as is like this. And obviously we would make our cabinets a little more detailed, but just for the purpose of learning this assignment and how to just make the average base cabinets, we're going to keep it like this. Okay, let's go ahead and group these restroom plumbing in our own group. So let's create a new tag, add, let's do bathroom, bath plumbing. We're going to select these. So I selected that group. Shift, select the toilet. Shift, select the tub. And notice how still all the plumbing appliances are selected. And I'm going to right click Entity Info. 3 of the components, 1, 2, 3 are selected. I'm going to select it and move it to the bathroom plumbing. And I could check by the little eyes. And it's correct. So there we go. And then let's make sure this faucet is actually part of our cabinets. So select. Let's move it to our kitchen cabinets. Oh, right here. There we go. It works. Okay. Well, that's it for now.